Women of Power podcast is a platform for passionate and influential women who are catalysts for change, pioneers in their fields, the change makers, the trailblazers, performers and influencers, driven entrepreneurs and professionals. They play a vital role in driving economic growth and bridging the talent shortages across organizations of various scales. Building cause-based businesses to create positive impact in their communities and towards sustainable goals for the people, planet, and prosperity. In every industry, women are shattering barriers and strive to create a space where they can exhibit their achievements and motivate other women to unleash their limitless potential. We encourage collaboration, networking, and knowledge sharing among women. Let's inspire and learn from one another while sharing our valuable experiences. Thank you for joining us and listening to this episode. Hello, and welcome to another episode of Women of Power podcast. This podcast is a platform for passionate and influential women who are catalysts of change, pioneers in their fields, the change makers, the trailblazer, the performers, the influencer, and driven entrepreneurs and professionals. They play a vital role in driving economic growth and bridging talent shortages across the organization of various scales, building cause-based businesses to create positive impact in their communities and towards sustainable goals for people, planet, and prosperity. Women of Power is a dynamic platform that recognizes the incredible women as a driving force behind global economic growth. It is a platform that celebrates and empowers women of passion and power. Ladies and gentlemen, I am very proud to introduce my guest today, Her Highness. I am so fortunate to have this opportunity to invite you to this podcast and share your accomplishments of lifetime. Outstanding. And before I can ask you any questions, this is in an outstanding profile that you have. I want to introduce you. Her Majesty Kgosi Moroka is the current ruler of Barolong Boo Seleka from Thaba. Is a free state province in South Africa. She's known as a barrier breaker, warrior, selfless advocate of restoration of dignity and hope for the people, and is very passionate about rural development. She's also a current deputy chairman of a Free State Provincial House in traditional, as I believe, pronounce it okay, Khoisan leaders. I tried. She serves as a leader of delegation to the National House of Traditional Leaders, also a member of the Executive Committee of Convener and Special Task Team on InvestRural. Her Majesty is the current Provincial Chairperson of Contralesa in the Free State Province. She is recognized globally for her advocacy. She is a South Africa brand ambassador, a national She Decide patron, a recipient of enormous awards, the Vice Reactor Award of University of Free State for Excellence and Outstanding Commitment and Community Engagement, Ethical Award of Appreciation for her impact in society to stand up for ethics, very important. Warrior Changemaker Award from Agrobiz USA, Black History Achievement Award by Kgosi, the Church of God in Christ, USA, Wow. A recognition by International Business Forum in Las Vegas, USA, CSW 68, session on high-level initiative at UN headquarters in 24. I think that's an acronym SRWIMA award, the game changer in community development and traditional leadership, and that's in 25. Honorary Officer Ambassador, Global University of Lifelong Learning in California, that's 25. And doctorate from University of Anthropology, highlighting her global impact. Kgosi Moroka, welcome to the show. The stage is yours. I am sure that there is a lot more, but I leave it to you to tell us more about you, your journey, and I'm sure the men and women of all generations, we can all learn from each other's experiences.
Well, greetings, warm South African greetings to you, Ritu, and to the viewers at home. And I'm greeting you with love and blessings, really, all the way from South Africa. It's such an honor to be your guest today, and I hope I will be up to the task. Thank you.
Okay, so I think the journey of women, it's a dedication and a rewarding itself. I am sure that your journey had been no different than many other women would say. Please tell us, as a woman in power, obstacles you faced, and how did you manage to accomplish a lot?
Thank you, Ritu. I don't know if I've accomplished a lot. I think it's still a journey. My struggle is a struggle that I think every woman can relate to. It may be in a different form or shape, but it's in essence the very same thing. Where a woman has to prove their worth, a woman has to work extra hard to prove that they too are able to do what, their male counterparts do, or what society may, prescribe as acceptable in their sight. And I think it's also an issue that we as women still grapple with in supporting each other. So I have had to walk the journey, and I think you can relate as well. It takes wisdom, I believe. It takes attributes at times that I say, they're divine attributes, because you have to navigate through the complexities and the dynamics each and every single day, really. But a day at a time, you navigate and you move on, and you find yourself, and once you find yourself, you stand firm and you become comfortable and content in the journey that you have been assigned to, more especially when you know that yours is a cause for purpose. It's a cause, it's you being assigned to serve. And once you understand that you are on a trajectory of serving, I think then you are even better abled to handle the challenges that you face along the way.
This is wonderful way that you express the being confident, assertive, and knowing that you are on a trajectory and there is no going back. And you also mentioned that women find it difficult to support each other. And I have dealt with this issue, this question many times with many women who are highly accomplished. And I think things are changing with the younger generation. As women, if we look at 100 years of history, we have come a long way from our household responsibilities to doing double duty now, high education, taking care of the household responsibilities, family, childbirth, uh, as a caregiver, nurturer for not only the children, but also the elders, and contributing. And I want to ask you, as I am very passionate about uh, women place in the society, in our current society and economy. Women globally have 30 plus $1 trillion of buying power today. They're almost 50% of the workforce. And we still have to prove ourselves at every step of the way. And I think you alluded to that as well. I would like to get your thoughts on how do we change the narrative? How do we change the mindset of not our counterparts, but our own?
Ritu, I think we can never stop preaching, but more than preaching, those who understand need to walk the talk. And walking the talk means being authentic in what you do to support another woman. It means you who understand are able to, even if it takes you to be uncomfortable for a minute, for the greater cause, then you can comfortably be uncomfortable. I think we as women are the greatest culprits. And I say this all the time. In fact, during CSW 68, that's what I was saying, that women need to drive. We are the ones who show our male counterparts how to treat each other. We cannot expect our male counterparts to understand or treat us the way we think we need to be treated when we ourselves do not exercise the very same thing. So I think the women who are, I call them the converted, those who are true, who understand, need to be a blessing, be, and I say be a blessing to each one you encounter. Ensure that a person that you come across, when you leave them, you don't leave them the same. And that goes for women. We know at times we are hostile towards each other. And maybe at times it's deeper scars that we are not aware of, but practice love anyway. And I think love conquers all. And if we were to really be the nurturers that we are as women, natural nurturers, it's a gift that we've been given by God. It's a strength that we must really understand and work on, so that we excel at it. We actually can even make the world a better place. We just need to understand the strength and power that is embedded in us.
Well, absolutely. I agree that as women, we, by our DNA, by our nature, by our creation, the empathy that lies in our heart. And I like the way you had expressed that when you meet others, especially our counterparts, and uh, don't leave them the same way before you met them. So I think this carries a lot of wisdom and advice uh, for women to think about it, that we don't need to come out as a competition,
Yes, yes,
right? It is, in my words, that I always promote is that it's a collaborative effort in
true.
our society we are part of. our society, our family units, our nations, our world, and the African wisdom of Ubuntu. That applies. That doesn't really limit to a gender specific. It is for everyone. And I think in our fragmented and chaotic world that we are going through, I always think that there is a hope, but women must lead that message of hope. You know,
Absolutely,
we
absolutely.
yeah, we need to recognize our God-given gift of empathy, compassion, and change that narrative and dynamics of the conversation, and uh, bring a little bit more compassion and dignity for all. I know you had worked in organizations and for dignity and hope for people. Uh, it's really not limited to a geographical uh, area. I think this is a
Okay.
global dilemma, right?
Mhm.
How do you see the mainstream taking this message out with kindness, compassion, and spreading some of the good news that, yes, as human beings, we are capable of that understanding and can change the dynamics? Your thoughts on?
Ritu, we are more than capable
Mhm.
if we are willing and truly willing to be the change. It's a matter of choice. We choose whether we want peace, we want love, we want harmony. We also choose if we want chaos and destruction. It's unfortunate, that the world is going crazy right now. There's absolute madness going on. And I think, again, as we are having a conversation about women and the impact that women have, it's also an opportunity for us, the mothers, to come out and mother the global community. If only we truly believed in ourselves. And I say truly believed in ourselves because you correctly earlier mentioned we hold more than half of the population of the world. So it cannot be that we still feel that we are not enough to be able to bring the impactful change that we want to see. And maybe as we meet in our different fora and platforms, the conversation amongst us needs to change. What we say and what we put out there, the messaging. I'll make an example
Mhm.
that I always, argue the issue of equality. What is gender equality? Uh, to me, it does not mean we as women are striving to be like men. It cannot be. There is a natural order of things.
Mhm.
But it does say we in our womanhood are able to be equal to the task and to complement the work of our counterpart as we should. And that does not make us any less. So I think, what we put out there, the messaging also has to change, and maybe even our conversations have to change a bit and bring harmony and strive for harmony between all sectors.
I think it's about time that we change the conversation and narrative and have more harmonious, collaborative conversations because the 150, 200 years of our history, um, the human civilization, different parts of the world has gone through. many, many changes. Say in last half of the century, 1950s to 2000, there was a lot of growth, industrial growth, and then came the digital era. And now we are on a rapid pace of technology taking over our lives. There is a less of a border divide. Uh, there's a less of a gender divide. Women are equally talented and competent to conduct the management roles. But the mindset, the generational trauma, the generational oppression hasn't gone away, because I see that all the time, from educated women to working at maybe very uh, entry level jobs. The need to prove themselves over and over and over is unnecessary, right? So what would be your thoughts from the word, from your nation, your region? You see women growing exponentially in business and in education and taking part. How would you define it? What would be the new narrative look like?
I think the new narrative would really, if we come to firstly be and I continuously refer to the word contentment, because it is when you are unsettled, when you are settled, I'm sorry, that you are able to be comfortable in your own skin, and not be shaken, by petty things, things that do not matter. And I think, as I referred to the natural order, we also need to understand that there's a way, and when you look at this order, everything has its place.
Yes.
And when again we come to that understanding, then you settle in, and everything works together for good. So I don't see us having any dysfunctioning or dislocation or not being aligned, if we can just we as the human race try to find one another, try to understand the roles of each and every one of us, and you get to this harmonious part that we are talking about. It's possible, and I foresee the future possible. In fact, we could thrive if we understood this. And the future has that opportunity only if we, the warm bodies, are willing and able to get to that point.
I think you made a very strong point on that we can thrive. So the contentment definitely has to be internalized.
Yes.
The thriving of humankind, it's not just limited to men only to lead or to do their contributions. I mean, everyone is doing that. And what I see is in our current economy, right now we are in 2025. That's a quarter century of the third millennia. We have changed within, like, post-pandemic, things have
That's true.
changed at an extraordinary pace. You blink and things have changed.
Yes.
So women I'm going to shift the conversation in a women's role. The double duty, is I like to say, that as a caregiver, as a giver of life, as a caregiver and nurturer, we have to do that part. And if uh, just just our role as a giver of life is a worthy of that respect.
Yes.
Right? But it's not so. It's not so. There are so many single mothers that go through very difficult uh, periods to raise children,
Yeah.
and that's global right now. It's not limited to any single location or culture or country or nation or society. It is widely seen, so it becomes everyone's responsibility to support one another as a humanity.
Yes. I fully agree. I fully agree with you, Ritu. Our reality, our current reality is far from this conversation that we're actually having today. The reality of the struggle of women, and you're absolutely correct. If we do not value the mere meaning of a woman, of what a mother is to each and every one of us, none of us would be here
Yes,
in this world if it were not for a mother. None of us would. I mean, your first encounter when you come into this world, you are literally embraced by a mother
yes,
who then takes you by hand, embraces you, ensures that you get to a point where you're able to do things for yourself.
yes,
And it's such it's so heartbreaking. In fact, I don't even know the word. I'm trying to find a word to express the unfortunate situation or circumstances that women find themselves in across the globe. The lack of respect is but one. The killing of women each and every single day, how women are not just disrespected by our male counterparts, but how the sense of moral fiber has decayed so much that even your own children disrespect you. Family units have crumbled, and that's what I'm saying, that maybe around these big tables that we sit around, the conversation needs to shift, and we need to rebuild
yes,
from the ground up, because it does not help to have these high level discussions and strategies, yet we leave out, or rather, we do not really emphasize the investment at grassroots level, because I think a large part of the work needs to be done on the ground, and that to do that you need proper investment
yes,
and willingness to drive that narrative. Unless we try to rebuild it from the ground, the future is questionable, and that's the reality, especially the struggle for women, the struggle of women. Apologies. If we don't strengthen women, women are community builders. They
yes,
are home builders,
yes,
and if you don't strengthen a woman, that is at the cost of a whole community, of a whole nation.
yes. An empowered woman empowers the entire family and the community.
Yes.
Women
Yes.
entrepreneurs reinvest in back into the community. So there is a win-win situation, and I think instead of pointing finger or blaming, we need to change the narratives from the grassroots levels. I think that younger generation, the Gen Zers, there is a less of a gender divide. They see differently than past generations. So there's a hope, there's good news, and I think the work hasn't finished. We need to continue, but the narrative has to change. It must. It is for our survival and our benefit, our prosperity. Um, as I mentioned earlier, women have now we are from agriculture to aerospace everywhere, right? So you cannot ignore women and their contribution. Um,
Mhm.
but I want to switch to other questions that I would like to ask now. I guess this conversation can go on. So, as a brand ambassador and social cohesion facilitator and a national patron, and she decides, your efforts in South Africa, and especially for women who in South Africa that who have been able to benefit, or you see that some foundations has been set, and that could be exemplary for other parts of the world as well.
Ritu, the biggest impact, or how I measure impact, is when you can uplift another woman. You're able to leave another woman confident and being able to stand on their own. And that includes girl children as well. But also a bit of work with the boys as well. That's the biggest impact. It's not about, the accolades and so forth. It is about genuine encounters and genuine influence in one's life, whether it's one person or a multitude. So I am humbled. Just the other day, the manager in my office sends me, so I'm not really on social media. I think the furthest I go is WhatsApp. And so I'm not on any of the other social media platforms. But my office manager then sends me a post from Facebook, and it was by a local author that we have in Thaba Nchu, who says in her post, Kgosi Moroka, my role model, and she says all these attributes that she sees in me. And those are things that are humbling, because then it means you are doing what is expected of you as a servant. And it means that you are on the right path. As I said earlier on, personally, it's a journey, and I don't think I'm even halfway that journey. But what is important is that along that journey, you have multitudes that you are holding, and they are coming along. So I think that's the biggest impact that any woman leader can have.
I understand that when acknowledgement comes, and it is that, yes, the impact is made, right?
Yes.
Even if it's silent, it might
Mhm.
take time, a generation,
Mhm.
but you have
Mhm.
set the foundation and let it
Mhm.
grow. And I think that is worthwhile effort. Um, I want to move on to the next question on you talk your contribution in steering committee of the research center on human technology interaction. It's a very interesting topic for me as coming from a technology world myself. And I say fondly that I have worked with technologies from Y2K, the old DOS commands, to artificial intelligence. So the human technology interaction. Tell me a little bit more your contribution and your experience on that.
So this is a research center that has been recently opened and launched by a local university, the Central University of Technology in the Free State Province, where I'm from. And I've been invited to form part of the steering committee, mainly as a leader of the community and therefore the voice of the community within the center. And it's basically my role is more of a strategic role where we would inform the direction which the research center needs to take. And obviously, myself coming or looking at it from a community lens, then would be the human-centric part of it, or of technology. And I think it's very important, you know, as a leader of the rural communities, because we are indigenous leaders, or they refer to us as traditional leaders. Most of the time, 90% of the time, these are the communities that are greatly disadvantaged, and the gap is very vast. And so it is such a great opportunity from this sector to be able to have a voice in this research facility. I must say, when we speak about technology, we are also struggling. I am struggling personally, and one would say I'm more exposed and knowledgeable. So you can imagine the ordinary women and men in the village, the child who lives in a village has to study, has to keep up with their peers who are in cities, who have Wi-Fi, who, it's a lot. And like you say, the advancement of technology is just so rapid. No one can keep up. So to close that divide, what do we do? And I think this research center definitely will also play a very key role. So it's a very, very exciting new chapter for the university, and obviously for the community of the Free State to be able to have this facility.
That is very critical because we are in a fourth industrial revolution, which means all digital economy, digital citizenship, education is digital, especially for children, the school-age children, to be connected and be trained for the future job market, etc. So that is very critical. And I mean, this is a big topic itself, but I'm glad with your participation, and there is a lot more work needs to be done. And we all find ourselves having gaps, just keeping up with technology. It's at the blink is changing so fast. I also want to ask you your goal as a leader for young women and men, shaping them for future leaders. As mothers, we raise boys and girls, right? So for me as a mother, there's no difference. You're raising children, right? But they grow up to be shaped from an external influences differently. I want to ask you, how do you see the younger women of today, the young mothers of today, shaping their little boys and girls for tomorrow?
Ritu, this is something that's one of the things that's close to my heart. In fact, before I became the Kgosi and the women king of my nation. As a princess, I started what we call the Princess Gabo Foundation, and it focused on responsible reproductive, maternal, and child health. And I say that the tagline or the motto was "Our power, our future,"
Wow.
or "Our future, our power." And if you understand that very well, it says a mouthful. Reproductive, maternal, and child health are the foundation of future generations.
Mm-hmm.
What we procreate determines the type of future that we will have, or determines future generations. So it begins there, and I think we dropped the ball at some point in being able to guide, how children are supposed to be nurtured and properly guided with principles and so forth. I don't know if it's the evolution that made us to drop the ball and to just, this free for all attitude that's there. Is maybe I'm a bit I'm a bit conservative, but I believe in instilling principles that will be able to equip the future to be able to withstand whatever comes their way. That's one. Two, there's also a divide
Yes.
again, of those, the population that would say they have benefited, and they are more in a better position to carry the future. But we also have a larger population that is not so. It's not just about that, it's the issue of nutrition. I always say, what are we producing? If we were just to take a minute and really introspect, is it quality that we are procreating? Are we bringing up a future generation that can really is strong enough, has all the necessary or the necessities that they need to be able to carry the generations that come
Yep.
after them?
Yes.
And that's a very big thing for me personally. Uh, we see how the policies that we make are questionable. What are we saying?
Yeah.
Are we really assisting the future with some of the actions that we are taking today? Are we not being short-sighted and thinking just for now, but
Yes.
not really thinking into the future? So that is where I am. And I think I will not go further. Uh,
I agree. So the mindset of the organization as women become contributors and work outside home, the profit first. So we need to collectively, organizations have to play a part. The people, planet, and profit. Without people, you have no healthy planet. Without people, you have no profits. So to invest in people, and especially for mothers, young mothers, during the documentary series on gender-based violence I had filmed a while ago, I came across many individuals, the subject matter experts of the different domains. One thing stood out for me, the expecting mother. It's not just the nutrition, but what she's emotionally going through, child is experiencing that.
yeah.
unborn
Yes.
child is experiencing that, if it is a traumatic situation or she's worried about future, so that little life comes into the world with some of the embedded trauma with
Yes.
him and her, right?
So to one of the campaigns and programs that was close to my heart, it's unfortunate that with the Princess Gabo Foundation, I have not been able to continue the work post-COVID because I had to focus on this, my new role. However, it's things that I still will be working on. We had this campaign called Let's Kangaroo Africa, and it speaks about the promotion, and we're advocating for kangaroo care, mother care, as a preferred method of care for every newborn, precisely to say that a child needs from day zero
Yes.
needs to be nurtured, and with the signs of skin to skin, which is beneficial to both the mother and the child, or the father and the child. That bonding plays a very crucial role, critical role in stabilizing the emotions of that human being, you know. Teach me how to love so I can love. Teach me how to care so that I can care. And obviously with kangaroo care, you promote breastfeeding, which speaks to nutrition. So yes, I totally agree with you. And those are the things that I say, you know, if we invest in such things, then I think we will see a better outcome in our human population. Because when you see today our children, you know, the rate of depression, the rate of these funny diseases all of a sudden that are there, we ask ourselves, have we really gone astray in how things are naturally supposed to be?
I can add a lot more to that. As you had said, my own observation and exposure to certain issues around uh, child mortality, the health of young people, neurodiversity among youngest generation is very high. ADHD or any kind of learning disabilities are on the increase. There's food pollution, air pollution, water pollution. We can go on and on. I would uh, also like to share um, with our audience that as women now have to work after their higher education, they have to compete and they delay childbirth. That takes so much toll on their own well-being. And there's so much stress in life. And even for younger parents, I would say mother and fathers, um, they have different challenges than my grandmother and my mother had. My grandmother would have never understood the concept of cyberbullying. Never. Nothing was there. My mother never heard the word cyberbullying.
Yeah.
I did. My children were out of school or were safer at that time. But our generation, next generation raising their children, have to worry about.
That's true.
They're not safe in their own home.
Yes.
uh, they're growing up with technology. I remember as a child, we used to play with children, other children in the neighborhood. We came home and we got hungry,
Yes.
right? And now it's not safe or considered safe for kids to play in suburbans, right? So urban cities or so, to play outside. You have to be supervised and all of that. So it's creating a lot of stress on the families.
Mhm.
The cost of living is high, so women have to work. In my parents' era, one person, father could go out work and the whole family would be taken care of. It's not the case so. So women are out there, but the mindset, why I'm bringing these up is as women go out to contribute to the family's success or prosperity, the attitude towards women must be changed as well. So we need to, with kindness and with compassion, with collaborative dialogues, bring this message that it is for the best of the society. Not in
Indeed.
competition, women are not going to take over the world and rule the world and leave men behind. No, it's not the case. So we are going to work together. And how do we do that? And the powerful roles like you have, and that is something credible as other women see us as role models, see us as, okay, yes, we can accomplish this. We need to do our job and do it with dignity and not
Yes.
allow anyone to put us down.
Yes. I think, Ritu, you're absolutely correct. But I also say, in doing our work with dignity, our greatest priority also should be the ones that we are doing the work for, or the ones that we are doing the work with, we also treat with the greatest dignity.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. And it is at all levels. It is at all levels. Like,
Yes.
such a wonderful conversation. Is there anything else you would like to share?
Well, I don't think so, Ritu, except to just convey my gratitude to you for hosting me today, and to your viewers as well. To all the people watching, I think we all have a responsibility, and each one of us is tasked with making a difference, bringing positive change, however big or small. But let it be that each day of our lives, we strive to make positive change. And I think the world will become a better place for all of us, but more importantly, for our children and their children and their children's children. And with those words, I'd like to thank you and to spread the love.
Thank you so much. It was a pleasure having you and with this conversation. I think our work is not finished yet. We will continue this conversation, and this platform is available to you anytime you would like to revisit and share the progress and the work you are doing. And with that said, I thank you so much for being part of this. And to our viewers, I hope that you find inspiration and courage to go out and do your part, how little that may be, but doing is the key. And I hope that you find strength and seek out and find mentors and mentor others. With that said, I'm host Ritu Chopra. Until next time. Thank you for listening to this episode. We hope that information our guest has shared is helpful and you are taking away valuable tips and knowledge. We are committed to supporting women and building cause-driven businesses that create positive impact in their communities. Join us in the movement for change. Take action now and be part of Let's Come Together movement. Together, we can recognize, celebrate, and empower women who are making a difference in today's economy. Connect with passionate and powerful women, collaborate on cause-driven businesses, and build a better future for our communities. Let's advance sustainable goals for the people, planet, and prosperity. Join the Let's Come Together movement, a private community, today and be catalyst for change in creating and raising conscious leaders of tomorrow. Thank you.